Wait, that's happened? History is full of unbelievable true stories and curious twists that rewrite what we thought we knew. And Thanksgiving is no exception. You probably think Thanksgiving started with turkey, pilgrims, and a single big feast of gratitude. But the real story? It's a chaotic mashup of politics, propaganda, and some truly bizarre historical events that make the modern holiday look almost unrecognizable. Let's rewind to the 1600s, the first Thanksgiving that every schoolbook celebrates, Pilgrims and Wampanoag sitting together in harmony in 1621. Wasn't even called Thanksgiving. It was a harvest feast, not a national holiday, and honestly, not that peaceful. The Pilgrims were survivors of a brutal year. Half their colony had died of disease and starvation. When they finally pulled in a decent harvest, they threw a 3-day feast to celebrate. The Wampanoag people, hearing all the gunfire from the settlers' celebration, thought war had broken out and showed up armed, only to find the colonists feasting instead. This somehow eased into shared food and uneasy diplomacy. That awkward mix of fear, survival, and cautious alliance would later be rewritten as a cozy dinner of gratitude. And about that dinner, there was almost certainly no turkey. The surviving accounts mention venison, shellfish, eels, and cornmeal porridge. Cranberry sauce? Nope. Pumpkin pie? Not a chance. They didn't have flour or sugar. So, while we picture golden turkeys and perfect pies, the real meal was closer to a survival buffet. Whatever could be hunted, caught, or boiled. Even stranger, the 1621 feast wasn't unique, and it definitely wasn't the first. Decades earlier, in Florida, Spanish settlers held a Thanksgiving-style mass in 1565, with salted pork and garbanzo beans. In Virginia, English colonists held a Thanksgiving in 1619, long before the Pilgrims ever reached Plymouth. Some of these early Thanksgivings were solemn religious days. Others were followed by conflict and bloodshed. In 1637, Massachusetts Bay colonists even declared a Day of Thanksgiving after massacring hundreds of Pequot people, one of the darker, forgotten origins buried beneath our national myth. For most of early American history, Thanksgiving wasn't even a consistent holiday. Governors or ministers might call for a local day of thanks after good harvests or victories, but there was no set date or meaning. One colony might give thanks for peace, another for rain, another for surviving smallpox. It was a patchwork of gratitude and chaos, with more politics than piety. That changed in the 19th century, thanks to Sarah Josepha Hale, a writer and magazine editor, and yes, the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb. For decades, Hale campaigned to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. She wrote letters to governors, senators, and presidents, arguing that a shared day of thanks would unite a divided nation. Most ignored her, until Abraham Lincoln finally agreed. In 1863, in the middle of the Civil War, Lincoln proclaimed a national Thanksgiving. His version wasn't about Pilgrims at all. It was a call for unity, a moment for Americans to give thanks with one heart and one voice, even as they tore each other apart. From there, Thanksgiving kept evolving, and sometimes it got weird. Franklin Roosevelt once tried to move it up a week to boost holiday shopping, sparking outrage and jokes about Franksgiving. States couldn't even agree on the date. Meanwhile, advertisers and department stores swooped in to reshape the holiday, turning it from a solemn day of gratitude into the kickoff for the Christmas season. The first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1924 featured real animals borrowed from the Central Park Zoo, marching down the streets of New York. By the mid-20th century, the image of the perfect Thanksgiving, golden turkey, smiling family, pumpkin pie, had become less about history and more about marketing. And then there were the forgotten traditions. Early New England Thanksgivings often included dancing, cider, and outright drunkenness, much to the horror of Puritan ministers. In some towns, young men would go Thanksgiving mumming, dressing in costume and demanding food or drink door to door. Others held competitive shooting contests or bizarre regional feasts that would make today's etiquette experts faint. So, the Thanksgiving we know today, calm, cozy, predictable, is really a collage of centuries of conflicting stories. It's part harvest feast, part political experiment, part marketing miracle. The Pilgrims may not have invented it, and the turkey might not have been invited, but the spirit of the holiday, finding gratitude amid chaos, somehow survived. So, next time you sit down at the table, remember, Thanksgiving isn't just one story. It's hundreds, stitched together by hope, politics, and maybe a little propaganda. And the fact that we're still arguing over what it means, that might just be the most American part of all. If you enjoyed this strange piece of history, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more.